Ellis Sims, you are an absolute chicken. I saw what you did in that game against Middlesbrough. And I will not stand for it. Next time you go and you score a banger and you have a run of 2 games like that, you go and you celebrate like a man. None of this half nonsense. Go all the way in. What is going on, people? Welcome back into the channel. Quick turnaround this week. We already got another match preview. Coventry versus Charlton Athletic at the CBS. It is Saturday, November 29th. Maybe the math is right on that. I don't know. Anyways, it is a really interesting match. We're going to break it down here today. We are going to give the projected lineup for Coventry, the injuries, the breakdown, how these two teams are going to match up against each other. At the end, I will give my predictions. So whether you're a Coventry fan, Charlton fan, or a man of betting interest, you should stick around till the end. My name is Joner Fat Cat. I make EFL Championship content. Please subscribe if you are new. Thank you all for the support. Can we get to 1,380 subs on this video and another 90 likes? Let's go for another 90. We've been doing really good on those. Thank you all for that. 3 digits in the last 2 videos. So let's get into the breakdown. I know a good chunk of my viewership is from England, but on Thursday this week, it is Thanksgiving. So that is a holiday where we celebrate things we're thankful for. Basically an excuse to eat and drink copious amounts of food and alcohol. So after doing this analysis, I will say I'm definitely grateful for Coventry City because this game on paper is a no contest. Every single metric, Coventry are sitting near the top in the offensive and attacking side of things. Hell, even on the defensive side, which has been their weak spot this year. However, Charlton, it's not the same exact story. You go and you preview this match about 22 days ago. It looks very, very different. Let me show you the table. So November 4th, 2025, just a little bit over 3 weeks ago, Charlton were sitting in the playoff. Everyone was talking about them. Nathan Jones masterclass. They spent beautifully in the summer. And I don't disagree with the fact that they spent very, very good in the summer. It's just that the teams that they went up with, obviously the likes of Wrexham and Birmingham, are just different gravy in terms of financial aspects and backing and whatnot. But very, very courageous effort for them so far this season. You could say they're on a bit of a slide right now. They have lost their last 3 games, including 8 goals in the first half of the last 2 matches. So what seemed to be a fairy tale in the making soon turned into a bit of a nightmare, and all that they are seeing this month is red, which could also not be a bad thing because their color's red, but you know what I mean. By the way, I have to check my parlay while we're going. I got Millwall and United to win today. Yes, 3-0 and 1-0. Come on, I'm going to be rich. Anyways, let's talk about Charlton. So they are 16th in the table right now. You can see that right there. 17 goals for, 20 conceded. They have conceded, like we mentioned, 8 in the last 2 and 9 in the last 3. So this number looks a whole lot different a couple weeks ago. That totally changes the dynamic and the breakdown of this game. What once looked like a very frustrating game, we know they're very stout defensively. My computer just died. Now it's turning into something that could be opened up like a can of worms very, very quickly if things do not go right at the start of this match for Charlton. Now, there are some positives, but first I just want to talk through some of their attacking metrics, which have definitely been the more disappointing side of the two because their defense, as you know, we all know, has been somewhat of a top tier defense despite them now being 16th in the table. So on the attacking side, they average 1 goal per match, which is 18th. They are 23rd in average possession, 21st in XG created, 19th in big chances, and 24th in passes per match. They hold 42% average possession. So name of the game, 5-back defense, counter-attacking football, stout back line. They're just going to absorb the pressure. Haram ball, in a sense. But it has worked because, like I said, a newly promoted team, they're sitting in 16th. They were in the playoffs a couple weeks back. 4th in clean sheets. They were tied with Coventry and Stoke for a while. They had just fallen off in the last couple of weeks. And then 6th in XG conceded. So despite them conceding all that possession, all those shots, all those touches in the opponent box, they are holding their own. But you do just wonder if the cracks are starting to shine through just as the season goes on. I mean, we are just over a third of the way through the season right now, but it's very hard to consistently concede that much pressure when, you know, you kind of have a lot of center backs that are playing a lot of minutes. They're just slowly going to get beat down and battered, and just over time it's going to get harder and harder, especially when your attacking presence and prowess has been really, really weak this year. So the big money signing over the summer was Charlie Kelman from QPR. So 4.2 million on him. And we know last season he was on an absolute tear in League One, and he has had difficulties in the championship in the past, so his QPR 11 stints, no goals. So they decided they were going to give him another chance. Has not exactly worked out, and really the computer just doesn't want to work today. He's got 1 goal in 10 appearances. He's got 1 goal in 13 matches, including 10 starts this year. So definitely not a good ROI right now. There's definitely a lot of time. He is injured right now. So maybe he was nagging something. Something was sitting with him. So we'll see what happens there. Not going to completely write him off yet. However, someone who has been good good on the attacking side for them this year is Sonny Carey. So he's got 5 goals and 1 assist this year. He started every single match, which is really impressive for an attacking player. He's one of the people to watch out for in this game for sure. Additionally, you want to look out for Tyrese Campbell, not the one you're thinking of. This Tyrese Campbell with a C down that left-hand side, plays sort of a left wing back role. He's got the most successful take-ons on the team this year. So if he's coming down the left, he'll be going up against Milan. We'll see how that dynamic goes with Milan pushing up / not pushing up. We also know he has Sakamoto to help him out there if he does get caught out. So not something you're too worried about, but if you're going to go for something that could be an issue, that may be it right there. Despite, down the left side, we've been a little bit more weak than the right recently, with Jay Da Silva being out of position and whatnot. Now, it's good to mention the attack of Charlton because that's obviously what would end up hurting us, but I want to highlight probably their best player this season. Also, I think my favorite non-Coventry player in the championship. Why? Because he was on an American dating show. Not sure if people know this, but Lloyd Jones, the Charlton center back, was on a show called Love Undercover, where basically they pretended that they had normal people jobs and they didn't tell the girls, and they just dated as if they were like, not a bad job, but saying like restaurant, like bartenders, all that type of thing, car dealers, and they didn't reveal to them till the end. And he was just my favorite character. He was also the poster boy of the show. So it was funny to watch that. I watched like the first 3 episodes and then it got cringe. So yeah. But despite the show being cringe, nothing about this guy is cringe at all. He is the spine of this team. He has played all but 6 minutes this year, if my math is mathing correctly. And they are getting their money's worth. Market value of $650K. He's been with Charlton for a couple years now. One of the main charges in their promotion season last year. He played a lot of games last year as well, 41 and then 36 the year before. You can see that right above my head. He's got a goal this season. He's got the most tackles and the most clearances in the entire championship. This guy is in the mixer constantly for Charlton. He is going to be the one at the back line clearing those headed balls out. We know right now with Ellis Sims, he is a huge aerial force, but Lloyd Jones is going to do his best to neutralize him, and it's not going to be easy for either player. They are going to be battling all game. The physicality of both these players is going to shine through. Definitely going to be my favorite matchup. You can see 100th percentile of aerial duels won, 99th percentile in DEFCONs. This guy is all over the pitch. He is the heartbeat of that back line, of that back 3. Also, now we'll talk about Connor Coventry, who is also a heartbeat of the team. Connor Coventry doesn't sound right that he plays for Charlton, but he's going to Coventry to play Coventry. He is their 6. He is the Mac Grimes of the team. He's got the most passes attempted this season. So the 3 most passes attempted on the season are Connor Coventry, Lloyd Jones, and Thomas Kaminsky from that goalkeeper position. Now, Lloyd's and Coventry are sitting at 75%. Kaminsky's sitting at 58%. That seemed pretty low to me, so I wanted to compare it to the Coventry analogs of those players. So Rushworth is at 62 versus Kaminsky's 58. And then our center back, Liam Kitching, is at 82 compared to their 75. And then Matt Grimes at 83 compared to Lloyd Jones' 75. So I think that just goes to show how much more pressure these guys are under when they are making passes, because we know they set up that low block. They like to counterattack. They have a very low percentage accuracy of long passes because they're just consistently spamming them. I think they sit near the top in long passes attempted this year. And with the, revolving door of the attacking play, they're really just trying to figure things out up top. Other than Sonny Carey, and I guess you could say Charlie Kelman before the injury, it's kind of been rotating, trying to figure out what works. So right now it seems like a transitional phase for them where they are really going to figure out who they are. And this is not the time to be playing Coventry City. So we'll swap over to the Coventry side. We'll talk about my lineup. I know I kind of yapped there. Hopefully this video isn't too long. Coventry are just, despite, they could go down in games, they could lead games, they could be tight games. They're always going to shine through with their quality at the end of these matches, even with the thin squad. I guess we could talk about the injuries. So Brandon Thomas Asante is likely going to be out for this game. We know Haji Wright is out for this game. Jack Radoni starting to ramp up, but clearly on the fact that, he still only got about 15 minutes last night. That just goes to show Frank isn't ready to give him those big minutes yet, because we could have used him a lot earlier than we did. We did still get the points, so not going to complain about that. It's being smart, obviously. But Ellis Sims has been on an absolute tear. Best time for him to come through and start to be the man again in that front line. Very physical, and he's got a very physical matchup against 3 center backs, specifically Lloyd Jones down that center. But guys, is it time that we finally see? I can't think of another time. I genuinely cannot think of another time where if we're going to see Joel Latibeaudiere, it would be this game. You have so many tough fixtures. Like, if Lati doesn't get in this game, when does he play? Charlton, Ipswich, no. Preston away, no. Bristol City, no. Southampton, no. Swansea, maybe. So that's after Christmas. That's Boxing Day. So I think this might be the time, if we're going to see him, it will be this game. Let's talk it through. We know Frank is all gas, no brakes. If Frank is going to make tactical subs, he'll make tactical subs if we're up in a game. But he's going to start with nearly his best 11 every single game. There's no midweek football. These guys are going to have a full 7 days to get ready for Ipswich, while Ipswich have a midweek game to play against Blackburn, that game that got suspended. So that'll be a little bit of a competitive advantage for us. But the front three is nailed on because there legitimately is no one else. The back line is most likely nailed on. I don't see him resting anyone. Grimes and Torp are nailed on. However, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to make an appearance. It's happening. Get him in the mixer. Get Lati in the game. It is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Lati is going to start this game in the central midfield because Frank isn't going to trust him in the back line because what has he done to earn that when you've got Wolfie working hard every day in training? I think this is the game. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Wolfie get in. I don't know if he would do both of them. It might be one or the other. But Lati, central defensive mid, double pivot with Matt Grimes. Absolutely the time to do it. Let's see it. I was going to put him at right back, but with Tyrese Campbell, I think Frank is probably a little smarter than that. I've heard that he's not the quickest player, but also just not playing football in a long time. You're not going to put him up against a pacey left winger who likes to take on defenders. So let's go with that. Is it going to happen? Definitely not, but I have to go for it because that's legitimately not going to happen until maybe Boxing Day if it doesn't happen now. And do I really need to go through and talk about all the Coventry City metrics at this point? We talked about the lineup. They're going to dominate possession in this game. It's going to be a tough, frustrating low block to defend. A low block that right now doesn't have the utmost confidence in the world. They are going to be happy to concede possession. They are a defeated team right now. Prediction-wise, I genuinely could see this being a 4-0 Coventry game. I don't see us conceding in this game. I know it's been a little bit since we've gotten a clean sheet. Well, actually, it's only been, 2 games? But, in the realm of Coventry City world, the fairy tale land that we're living in right now, that is a long time. Also, it was before international break. So, calendar-wise, it is actually a long time. But I really don't see this being much of a contest. I see us holding 58 to 60% of the possession. I see them maybe frustrating us a little bit, but when Coventry are on it, they score and they score quickly, and that is Charlton's kryptonite right now. They've been conceding goals quickly and early. So in the first half of games, I already mentioned they've conceded 8 goals in their last 2, and this is probably the last team you want to play when that's your quote-unquote kryptonite right now. Their back line is going to be, under pressure all day. They're never going to rest, and just by the end of the game, they're going to be exhausted. I think it's going to be a bit of a field day. I think it's going to be a 4-0 victory to Coventry City. I'd put my money on that if I were a gambling man. Well, I am a gambling man, but I don't bet on my own teams other than my future bet. But yeah, that's going to be all for today. Thank you if you're still here. Charlton fans, let me know down below. How do you guys feel about this game? Cov fans, is 4-0 a realistic prediction or am I doing too much? Let me know down below. Please let's get 90 likes. Please sub 1,380 subs by the end of this video or you love Leicester City. So thank you. I will see you guys after the game on Saturday for a post-match, and I'll see you tomorrow for a Thanksgiving special. Peace.